Okay, so this is what you're gonna do. What I like to do is to copy this row of weight and then paste it on this side so I don't get confused. And then I have space in between. Then you're gonna go ahead and label these two boxes right here. You're gonna name them X minus X bar, and then the second one you're gonna name them X minus X bar square 2. Then the next step is to find the mean. And the way you're going to find the mean is by adding all these numbers together and then dividing it by how many total bare weights there is. But what I like to do so I don't get confused is to label everything. So I'm going to label right here, I'm going to put some space between here, and I'm going to label here total amount, which is going to be the total amount of this when we add it all up together. Okay, and then right here I'm going to name this second square mean, and I'm going to put parentheses X bar because that's what the mean is, the X bar. So then I'm going to click on this number, on this box right here, and I'm going to put equal, and I'm going to write the word sum. And that's going to pop up right here. You're going to double click it, and then there's going to be parentheses. So then you're going to scroll all the way up, you're going to hit the button, and you're going to wait until it becomes like a thinner T. Let me see. Oh, there you go, the white T. And then you're going to drag all of this down till you get into the last number. And then you're going to do parentheses again, and that's going to add it for you automatically instead of you punching in everything in a calculator. And then you're going to hit enter. And that's the total that you get after you added all these numbers together. Now you want to find the mean, not the total amount. The main focus is to find the mean. So what you're going to do next is click the second box right here, and you're going to put equal. Then you're going to do sum. I'll delete that because that's not supposed to be there. Then you're going to click this number right here, and then you're going to do the divide sign right there. It's just a little slash, and then you want to do the total number of bare weight. So you see how it says there's like 55 weights in this chart. Well, in reality, it's only 54 because we're not including this weight, the word weight. So altogether, starting from 80, ending at 55, we really do have 54, if that makes sense. So the total, I don't know if I'm saying this right. So the total amount of weight, I guess you would say, or the total number of weights. So whatever, the number is 54. So you do 54, then you do the parentheses again, and you hit enter. So that is going to be the mean for the weight. Okay. So the next thing that we're going to do is do the X bar. Now to find the X bar, all you have to do is do equal. Then you click the number 80. And then you do minus. And you're going to come all the way down to find the mean. So you click the mean. And then you're going to scroll all the way back up. And the next step is to put dollar signs in front of the L and in front of the 58. And the reason why you're doing this is because it's a formula. And this will help you get all the other numbers right here. So once you drag it, it'll calculate everything for you. Instead of you repeating the same step over and over and over, you adding those dollar signs is the formula, so you don't have to repeat those steps over and over and over, if that does make sense. So then all you have to do next is hit enter, and you get this number, and that number is called the deviation. Okay, the next step to get all the other numbers is to drag this down, just like that, and you're gonna wait for that black T. So you saw how it was a white T to begin with, and then it turned black. That's what you want, and then you drag it, and then look at that. It calculated all the other numbers for you because you added those dollar signs in between those numbers, which was the formula. Okay, I hope this all makes sense. The next thing that I like to do so I don't get confused is to make this into a bold lettering, just like that. And then that's it. So then the next step is to focus on this x bar square, x minus x bar square. And the next step is to do the equal sign, click this number next to it. I'm sorry, go back. We're starting all over. So you do equal parentheses, you click the number next to it, and then you do the caret, 2 parentheses, enter. And then you're gonna get this number right here. And the reason why we're doing this these numbers on this column is because you're trying to find the variance and the standard deviation, and those are the steps you take to find the variance and the standard deviation. Okay, so after you find that, you're gonna want to drag this, and I think we need to do the formula, so I don't think it's gonna calculate it, but let's double check. Oh no, perfect, it did. So for this one, you don't need to add the dollar signs like how you did for this column, but you will. So you need the dollar signs for this column, but you don't need the dollar signs for this column. Okay, so then the next step is to find the total amount when we add all of these numbers together. Okay, so what I like to do is, so I don't get confused, is to label everything. So I'm going to write here total amount, and then we're going to calculate it. But I'm going to make this into a darker letter. Okay, perfect. So then the same steps we're going to take, so this is the next step. We're going to do equal sum. You always want to do sum when you're trying to add columns together. Okay, so then what you're going to do is click on that number and drag. Perfect. And then you're going to want to add the parentheses. Don't forget to add the second parentheses to close up the formula. And then press the button enter. And then that's what it all comes down to. This is all these numbers add up to this number. Okay? The next step is to find the variance. So you saw this is the reason why we solved these numbers, is to get the variance, which is the answers that we're looking for, the variance and the standard deviation. But so I don't get confused, I like to label everything. So I do variance, and then I like to put in parentheses what it stands for, so I don't forget that this is what it is. So variance equals S squared. Just remember that that's what variance is in formula letter, I guess you would say. And then I like to make it into a darker letter. And then I'm going to double click the box next to it. And to find the variance, you do equal, and you click on the total amount divided by 53. Enter. And that's going to be your variance, that number right here. Now, why did I do 53 instead of 54? This is why we do 53. Because when you are, this is a sample problem. And when you are doing a sample problem, you always want to divide by n minus 1. When it's a population problem, it's a whole different problem, and you do not want to divide by n minus 1. You only divide by n, which is the total amount. If that makes sense. I don't know if I'm saying it correctly, but I'm trying my best here. So because we are doing a sample problem, in reality, we had 54 columns because we're not including the weight. Do you recall that? So we're not, it says from here, it says we have 1 through 55, but we're not going to include this weight column. So in reality, we have 54. So now this is where you plug in, I'm going to show you down here. This is where we plug in that n minus 1 formula. So you do n minus 1 equals 53. That's where I got the 53 from. Okay, I hope that makes sense. So don't forget to do n minus 1 when you're doing a sample problem. Okay, maybe I'll write it down right here so we don't forget. So I'm going to do that equals 55 or 54, my bad, minus 1 equals 53. Okay, I hope this makes sense. Okay, so now after we find the variance, our next step is to find the standard deviation. And to do that, I'm gonna name here the column again so I don't get confused on what what numbers I'm looking for. So I like to abbreviate standard deviation into SD. And then I do parentheses S because that is what the S stands for, standard deviation, okay? So then I make that into a darker letter, and then the next step is to do equal and type in SQRT, which stands for squaring. You click that and it automatically gives you the parentheses, okay? And then what you're going to do is click on this number variance, and then you're going to add the second parenthesis to close it, and you hit enter. And that's going to be your standard deviation right there. The 121.8012. That's going to be your standard deviation. Now that's how you find. So these are the steps that you take to find the mean, the variance, and the standard deviations, okay? Now, there was another part that I did not include into the notes because I did forget, and that was to find the C-score. Now, the C-score, the C-score will help you find the most extreme. And the way you find the C-score is, so I'm going to type out here, C-score. If I can type. Okay, and this is the way you're going to find the C-score. So you do equals, clicks on the 80, you do minus the mean. This is the mean right here, okay? And what you're gonna do is do the dollar signs because this is another different formula, and you want to be capable of putting it all the way through all these columns right here, okay? And then I forgot to add the parentheses, so I'm going to add the parentheses right here. And then I'm going to do the divide sign. And then you want to divide it by the standard deviation, which is down here. And then you're gonna want to do the dollar signs over here as well, because this is another formula as well that you want to be capable of dragging down. Okay, so then I hit enter, And this is my my C-score. And now to get every C-score for all of these numbers, I'm gonna want to drag, and I'm gonna wait for that dark T to come through, and there you go. Then we have all the C-scores here. Now to find the like the greatest C-score, this is what I would do. I'm gonna highlight all of this, and I'm gonna go up to right here, sort and filter, and I'm gonna do smallest to largest, okay? Actually, that might not be right. Just forget the whole sorting thing. I'm gonna do undo. But this is how you find the C-score. Let me go back to my notes and redo everything, and then I'll let you know if you do sort that out or not, okay? I hope this helps you to understand. If not, just ask me. I'll try my best to help you out, okay? All right.